There is a popular African proverb that goes like, human beings only learn through suffering and pain. And growing up, I felt like education was a solution to literally every challenge that we were going to be faced in the future. However, I've come to realize with a master's degree in business finance that there are several life lessons that you can only learn them through the challenging and most tough times. And that is why in today's video, I'm going to share the 7 life lessons that not even a master's degree can actually prepare you for. And these are lessons that you can apply them across board in every single aspect of your life. And so without further ado, let's just go straight into it. And I promise to make it extremely snappy. And so the first thing that you need to know is that building wealth or pursuing financial freedom actually takes time. And that is the first lesson that I learned the hard way. I've started several startups that have not really been successful. And there's one thing that I've learned through it all. Building wealth actually takes a very long time to actually realize. Consistency is the key. You've got to actually stick to one thing for a very long time, putting in the marginal contributions over time in order to ensure that you drive yourself towards success in the long run. Don't think that you're actually going to see the success overnight, like all these gurus out there promising you several returns within the interim or within the shortest possible time. Real wealth actually takes time. Take someone, for instance, like Warren Buffett. He's actually gone on to invest in the stock market for nearly 7 decades. He's 95 now. He's actually invested for literally, 80 years. And that is why today he's a centibillionaire. So think about it. Anytime that you set out to pursue financial freedom or to become wealthy, it would actually take a very long time. And so with this said, we move on to the second thing, and that is you need to know that your health is your actual wealth. And so what you have to know is that you don't always have to focus on the production or the goal. Try as much as possible to balance it out with the production capability. And the production capability in this case is your health. Because if you're healthy, then you're more likely going to go on to actually ensure that you increase your income at the end of the day. When you have health and you actually go about your business without any illnesses, it also increases your ability to consistently rake in that income, which pushes you a step towards the attainment of your financial goals altogether. This brings us to the third life lesson, and that is working together actually works. The first time I came across this phrase was when I was first employed right after uni. Now, I really sat down thinking about it like, what do you really mean? Because we had gone through school with a competitive mindset. You always go in there to study on your own, do things on your own, write exams and pass or fail on your own. And now they expected us to actually fit into a new system where it is more of cooperation and not competition. And trust me, I can attest to the fact that when we were actually doing things in isolation or doing things, with a soloist mentality, we were actually being less effective and less efficient. If you truly want to go on and build wealth in the long run or in life altogether, try and then master one thing that Napoleon Hill calls the law of the mastermind principle. So what you have to know is that you have to surround yourself or build a team of experts or people that can help you or drive you a step closer towards the attainment of your definite chief aim. And that also ensures that where you fall short or your strengths might probably be someone else's weaknesses and vice versa. And so when you find yourself in any trouble when it comes to the pursuit and the attainment of your goals, you still have people from that team or friends or peers or even people from the family that you can fall on and then subsequently ensure that you consistently contribute when it comes to your goals and its attainment. This brings us to the fourth life lesson, and that is the fact that the world is neutral. So one thing that you need to know is that you have to master the law of compensation. And that simply says that you actually receive every single thing that you give to the world. And so if you truly want to become successful, there's one thing that you need to learn. Try and then deliver value to people. And then people in exchange of that value would give you money. So think about all the successful people out there. The athletes or the businessmen, the entrepreneurs, everyone is delivering value to the world. And in exchange of that, the world is actually giving them money. So they are not actually pursuing just, ambiguous goals. They have a very specific specialty, and that is delivering goods or services that solves a problem in society. And in exchange of that, people give them money. And so if you truly want to become successful, then think about the world as being neutral and that it gives you every single thing that you actually put in there. This brings us to the fifth life lesson, and that is desire is the starting point of all great achievement. So according to Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can also achieve. And the Bible goes on to reiterate that point in that whatever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So anything that you think is eventually what you become. And if you don't believe in your ability to get those things done, you can never actually become successful when it comes to your goals. So think about life as an experiment. That is what I do simply. You can either fail or win. And if you win, it is as a result of the desire or the level of contributions or your obsession with your goal. And most people out there really do not see life from this perspective. And I learned it the hard way. We've always been brought up that at any point in time when we talk about money, it's all about, money is evil, the rich are evil. So it actually goes on to cement this misconception about money, that money is a bad thing, and that most people who have money in abundance are actually doing, or they're engaged in something illegal. And that is not true. There are several millions and possibly billions of people out there who are making decent money out of the economy. And so try as much as possible to focus on one thing. Contribute massively in the form of you exercising that desire, and let it become an obsession at this point, because without that obsession, it becomes very, very difficult for you to even attain anything in life. And so that is one thing that I also learned the very hard way. This brings us to the safe life lesson, and that is to kiss the frog. And I know this sounds weird, but what you need to know is that the fears or the things that are actually stopping you are not just things that are actually physical. It is something that is in your mind. And so try as much as possible to face those fears, and then try and then overcome them. And in order for you to become successful when it comes to you actually facing your fears or kissing the frog, there's one thing that you need to know. You need to tune down your risk aversion, in that you have to take risk. You don't necessarily have to become risk loving altogether, but take some level of risk that would ensure that you're actually becoming successful in life, or something that challenges you to bring to bear the version of you that wouldn't struggle when it comes to the pursuit and the attainment of your goals. I always see life as we trying so hard to find versions of ourselves that can actually do things easily. So for instance, if you truly want to become wealthy and you really have this magical figure in your head like £1 million, there's always a version of you that wouldn't struggle to make or to earn that £1 million. All you have to do is to go through the experiences of life, navigate your way to reach that version of you that would be able to make that £1 million. And so it is more or less like an experiment. Once again, try as much as possible to face your fears, kiss that frog, take that risk, and then as you're young, nothing can actually go wrong, simply because you've still got several years ahead of you, holding all other factors constant to correct things. This brings us to the seventh and the last life lesson, and that is no one is actually coming to save you. So when it comes to your goals, that is actually your own responsibility. And the truth is, people at some point in time might, provide us support and the assistance and that access to, the enthusiastic motivation externally and all of that. But overall, every single thing boils down to one thing, and that is you. Your actions and your inactions, but more importantly, your thought patterns will determine whether or not you become successful in life. And also what you need to know is that consistency actually beats talent. So if you're able to find the right motivation and you consistently contribute marginally, trying so hard and focusing to improve yourself 1% at a time, you're actually going to increase your ability to become successful in life by 37%. And that is a great thing for you to actually realize. And so think about life as an experiment, like I've stated earlier. And I believe in you, and I know that with the right mindset and the skills and your abilities, you're actually going to become successful in life. And so if you found value in this video, kindly smash the like button. It really helps the algorithm, and then it really helps this channel as well. And then consider subscribing. But in the meantime, thank you for spending time with us, and see you in the next video.